mean, fuck it.
Slacks, we don't have the technology.
Okay.
Well, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 1, EG Complexity. The best of 5 begins now. Here we are.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The first bans are going to be the NA Classic Abaddon and the most hated hero in the game, Lone Druid.
Yep.
Not surprising, Grant?
No, not really. Literally everyone hates Lone Druid. I still love what they nerf. We'll take away 50 range. That'll make this hero not great anymore. Oh, okay.
He gets 40 seconds to respawn instead of 50.
Instead of 41.
Yeah. Instead of instant respawning, it will take him 5 seconds to make it to the lane.
I don't know. Monkeys Forever Abaddon is good, and there's Swindle's Last Shrek, so...
Yep. EG
very targeted.
Their enemy, boys.
Now it's going to be... Are they going to ban Slardar, or what are they going to do here? Do you know Slardar's a fish?
Yeah.
He's actually not. He's a
fish?
Myrmidon.
He's some sort of a sea creature, indeed.
Myrmidon? That sounds like something from Han.
Yeah, what's a Myrmidon?
That's literally from Han.
Yeah, but that's what he is.
But
That's
a
like his
Myrmidon is
actual
a thing,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Han
that
didn't
what
make
it is?
that up.
I thought that was a made-up
No, I
thing
think
for that fish
What
guy.
is it, an animal?
Slark.
It's a.
Wait, let's hear.
It's
What
a
does Slacks have to
gladiator.
say? He's the lore god. What is Slardar?
Slardar is of the Slytherin race.
Yes.
Down in the depths, he lives in the depths of the ocean, not in the shallows like the Tidehunter Slytherin.
Is he a Myrmidon or not, dumbass?
The fuck is a Myrmidon? There's a mermaid.
Oh, hey, look
And
who
there
it is.
it
It's
is.
Slardar.
Hey,
it's
speaking of the devil,
Slardar.
there's that handsome gentleman.
He's just too
A
good.
Myrmidon is a member of a warlike Thessalian people led by Achilles at the siege of Troy. Has nothing to do with water.
No, that's the different. I can. You're
That's
just
a different
all
spelling.
over the place.
That's,
yeah.
He's spelling it M-E-R, like as of the sea or ocean, and you're doing M-Y-R, which
All right,
is...
hold on.
That's
on.
a
Ancient
Myrmidon, you
Europe.
fucking
When I
idiot.
type Myrmidon
Yeah,
with an
fuck.
E, it says, did you mean Myrmidon with a Y?
Yes.
Did you mean the real thing? Or the mermaid?
right. In Dragon Quest, Myrmidon with an E is a monster who appears in super light, and he looks like a Murloc.
Oh, goody.
So exactly.
Oh,
Well,
hey.
guys.
That's great.
Well, we did talk about the
figured it out.
Centaur, though.
We
Centaur Wisp, the opener for Complexity. This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Wisp is a pretty broken hero right now.
Is he?
Hasn't he always been?
Well, yeah, but especially now. I mean, there's games where if you don't ban him out, it's just basically over. So that's pretty good for Complexity.
Are we thinking it's going to be a Moose Centaur, or does Monkeys play it sometimes? I haven't
I think
ever
it'll
seen
be
him play.
monkeys.
You think it will be?
Yeah, it'll just be off lane. I highly doubt there'll be any sort of a position 1.
Why do you highly
Centaur.
doubt that, Trent? Haven't they done it before?
Yeah, but it's like dead now. It's not really a thing anymore, I don't
Okay.
think.
Shifted
I
away
think the
from
hero's just off lane all the time now.
that. Is
I
Centaur
do
good
like-
enough to go just off lane?
Yeah, I mean that's what.
Yeah, he's
besides its Complexity, everyone else runs it off lane.
Okay, I see.
And Complexity probably will too.
The IO is kind of nice up against the Slardar, though, just because I think there's like 2 options, right? If they open with Slardar, you can basically like try and do like a split push kind of a game where you understand that they're gonna go for this like Slardar plus gank squad sort of a thing, right? And you try and dodge it all around the map, so the IO's a pretty good way to go about that. Or you just try and like fight them head on and just have like a super sick 5-man Dota that there's no way they can just like gank and initiate on you and you're never split up. And IO kind of gives you a little bit of both, right? Helps you split push, but also helps out in terms of like team environments and stuff, and just make sure you can always be 5. So when EG try and get these ganks going off, hopefully Z-Freak will be there to pull his buddy into the engagement.
Yep, and I like EG's draft right now because I think they've ran this before and they just straight up do Slardar Darkseer in the offlane for a couple of levels before Slardar moves around, and it's extremely hard to get any sort of pressure against that lane.
Isn't it something seeing Coddle in a place now where he's first ban territory?
Hell yeah, dude.
He was so forgotten about for so long.
As long as he's not picked, it's great.
He's interesting though. I watched a lot of games in Star Ladder where Coddle was picked up first draft, and then they were just so concerned with getting it. It wasn't really thinking about how they could win. Like I saw a lot of games where teams just had a lineup where they could hold out, but that was it. They had like 0 chance of winning. So very confusing hero right now. I think some people don't really know how to use him well.
He's like the support version of Tinker. Like nobody actually likes watching him, and he just stalls the game for 30 minutes.
Exactly, right? I mean, he has a hard time actually winning games, so
5 seconds
it's interesting.
remaining.
Anyway, Silencer picked up. Ooh, a little trick from China there.
What? Moo was literally the pub before he started this game was playing a carry silencer. Before IK drove over here, I was
Ooh.
watching his pub play the carry silencer.
Wow. EG should have
right.
been watching that pub.
Maybe, we'll see.
Got wrecked.
What did he buy?
He did Atos Hurricane Pike treads.
Maybe you shouldn't say this. I mean, what if
What if they're doing it?
they're fucking listening to... Okay,
I mean,
but,
oh well, there's the Earth Spirit, so
interesting.
No,
that's kind of cool. Slider and Earth Spirit.
Glada.
that is a lot of movement around the map. If you bet on EG to take the most runes, it's looking pretty good for you right now. like with Slard on
That's
Earth
the
Spirit,
money.
Can I bet now?
No.
I think it's
Yes,
closed,
please.
friend.
Please.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, is there any way that Slaughter could be a 1?
5 seconds
no,
remaining.
unless they want to lose.
Yeah, if they want to lose.
Super
it's
unlikely.
If they bet on complexity to win game 1, maybe.
Reserve
I mean,
time.
that's a very greedy draft then, is it not?
It is.
Not
but
having
he
like
could
a
just
real lane
pull,
support?
Like, you know that the Darkseer is going to be down bottom with the Slider or Earth Spirit, one of the others is just going to like show up down bottom and do their thing and be generally obnoxious. And then your other hero can just be pulling up in the top lane or something. So the one thing you want, though, is like, how is this going to impact the mid matchup? Because now you've basically committed to Earth Spirit and Slider, and you're going to be slowed down, I would say, if you're trying to do like pressure in the safe lane as well as the mid lane, right? Or rather, I guess the enemy safe lane. So either you need like a super sustainable one, like a lone druid style kind of hero who's obviously banned, who doesn't need any assistance, or you're going to have one guy pulling up top and one of these lanes is going to be left to its own. Like maybe you just don't do the Darkseer +1 combo and focus more on mid.
I think the biggest thing is because complexity has an IO. I mean, their lanes are also kind of weak, so they're willing to be super greedy because of that.
Yeah, that's also true.
And we don't know. I mean, Silencer.
Yeah.
We've seen Z-Freak play Silencer. It's not for sure Moo's gonna play
We've
it.
seen Swindle play Silencer,
Yeah,
too.
we've seen the whole
Yeah.
team plays it.
But Swindle doesn't play Wisp, right?
No, that's
I
a
don't think
Z-Freak
so.
hero.
Yeah.
Here's a Susie classic, though. Shadow Fiend.
And I'm surprised. I know NA teams talk a lot about how you. I know this isn't a pub, but you always last pick your middle hero. But they're just confident, and we're just gonna pick our middle hero and let EG counter with whatever they want.
It's because they got a gotcha pick as their last pick. Complexity wants to lure them into something and
5
Yu-Gi-Oh
seconds
their ass.
remaining.
You've activated my trap card, idiot.
Trap, dumbass.
That's-
Exodia!
That's my Blue Eyes Red Dragon.
The forbidden one comes!
Well, Templar Assassin. Sumail here for the mid lane.
That's super.
So do we think
That's good.
Silencer is better as a carry or a support
You
this game?
you almost have to play it as a carry now because if Silencer has no farm versus a TA, IO and TA get like one shot, or IO and Silencer get one shot by
5
TA. Like
seconds remaining.
this Silencer has to get farm, I think. Honestly,
I would
Yeah.
guess he'll probably be 4. Well, I guess
Reserve
he'd be
time.
5 technically, but he'll still get like more farm than I think your traditional 5 would, just because the IO will be moving around more so with the core and stuff. But like maybe trying to get into that helm sort of a style from the Silencer. I still think it's going to be Swindles in my eyes, but they've also banned out a lot of those anti-Darkseer heroes. They took out the Jug themselves from EG, but then the Complexity removing the Lifestealer, so your typical like wanted heroes up against Darkseer aren't really left in the pool.
EG has amazing Roche
turn
control.
to bat.
You got
Yeah.
Sardar and TA for minus armor on Roche himself, and just great team fight around the pit. Earth Spirit, Darkseer, Slardars are heroes you do not want to fight in close quarters, man.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, both teams have a lot though. Like Global Silence plus Centaur going in, that's gonna be rough with
That's
Shadow
true.
Fiend.
Seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
Do you know? Is this the first time NA has had a 9K versus 9K MMR
5
matchup?
seconds remaining.
Must.
I-
Easy,
maybe.
It
747?
would have to be.
You would know, Grant. You're the expert.
Oh, they love MMR.
Reserve time.
Clink's
that's-
final
that's
ban
all
here for
needed.
complexity. A tough 5th ban here for E EG.
I always like to see what teams think because I think it's gonna be a carry silencer. It's nice to see like if EG like if they ban a support, it's like oh well I guess I'm a dumbass. But if they ban a
Also
carry, I'm
just
like
being which
I
one's the
knew
most
it.
Powerful.
You gotta.
They're thinking. They're all huddled around one computer, you know, at the team house.
They
like,
need something with some stun though.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Grant.
That moment.
Are you guys snuggling over there or what?
No, it's just,
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. I was just picturing the team going around and be like, okay. Anyway.
Complexity need more control though. Like you've got spammable stuns from Centaur and Global, and that's it. Like they need
Yeah.
a Lion, you know, or Avenge, or somebody with a nice lockdown. That
Whoa.
They definitely need a lockdown now. You are
yeah.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
Turn to
All right,
bat.
trap card complexity. What have you been cooking up, buddies? I mean, I gotta say, I like Silencer against Weaver, though. It actually is pretty good
Yeah.
for a lineup.
They do have now Weaver and TA up against IO though. Like Z-Freak, this is the saddest life for an IO player.
Yeah,
You can't
but
be
if
near
anyone
either
can
of
handle
them.
it, come on. It's the
Dude, he'll just be dead. He's like, no armor.
Do you know in Canada they say Z Freak? It's called Z Freak. Trent, can you?
That's true.
It is.
Yeah.
True. See?
Zed
All
Freak.
over the
horrible.
forums.
That
Those
is horrible.
Crazy Canuck Dota forums. Zed Freak.
Zed Freak.
Is that a website?
Hey.
thecrazycanucks.com.
Yep, it autocorrects. Great.
That's going to be the team that wins the North American.
And you
Battle
know,
Cup.
whenever we spell armor, there's a U in it too, eh?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
They add U's into words for no reason, like color as well. So what do we got here?
10
Complexity,
seconds remaining.
10 seconds. Call it, Slacks. Tide Hunter.
Whew.
It's
Disruptor.
Disruptor.
Yep, there
That's
it
a great
is.
pick.
Carry Silencer called it, dumbasses. I'm the man.
Man, what a
I mean, I
god.
thought it was Gary Silencer too. I think Disruptor's also a great pickup here.
Versus Weaver,
Puts a
yeah.
lot of pressure on that Weaver, and can also be pretty good against Templar Assassin. You know, do you drop that ult? She doesn't really have a lot of places to go, making meld kind of suck.
He's also the classic hero against Darkseer, but he struggles a lot versus Darkseer +1. So it seems like they're assuming the pressure is going to be in the mid lane with the Earth Spirit rather than bringing him down bottom, because
Yeah.
Disruptor will get like owned by double Ion Shell, but he's really good against solo Darkseer and just forcing out the surge and then glimpsing him back. So
Quick round of predictions, boys. Who's taking game one? We saw the drafts, EG or Complexity. I'm saying Complexity game one. I like it. They've got some control. They've got a lot of silence. Disruptor and Silencer. I believe Slacks.
Actually, don't think so. Sorry. I feel like they have a lot of pressure on Z Freak, which is their big playmaker.
Zed
on
Freak.
Zed Freak on Complexity. So
5 seconds
with all that
remaining.
pressure on him, Silencer won't be able to take off as much as he wants to, and then you got Shadow Fiend who's squishy as well. You're gonna have to go with EG.
I think TA if TA gets a good start, they just win the game. The IO and Silencer and Disruptor are just useless versus TA, who has good farm. I think the EG just wins.
yeah, and if we've seen anything out of like OG lately, that whole Darkseer Earth Spirit
Yeah.
combo, it's disgusting. I'm sure that EG will be just as practiced and skillful at it as they are, so you're just going to see that every single time, right? Vacuum, kick, silence, 2 heroes, 3 heroes, the fight's over if you get multiples. So
Sorry.
I would definitely favor EG.
We told you to
EG's
bet on
lineup
this one,
is super
and
good.
we fucked you.
Hey, I said 3-1 victor. This is the
I said
one.
Yeah, he's
3-0
going for
EG.
the
If they're
long
going to take
haul
any
here.
game, it's going to be game one. And the panel is unanimous.
Hey, I stuck to the Complexity guns.
Great job, buddy. Good
I
job.
believe.
Good
I
shit.
believe, Slacks.
All right.
So we're going to hop into the game. Of course, we've got a pause to get things started. Somebody's having a mic issue on one of the teams.
No problem.
So no problemo.
Maybe we should.
Is
Game one of the best
Is
of
Weaver
five.
going to be forced to go early BKB here? I know Fear used to do it, and he's their coach against the Silencer.
Yeah, he might. But I don't know. Lincoln's. He's going to need.
Lincoln's
that.
is just Garbo in this
Yeah,
game.
BKB is probably the item. Eventually this game. I don't know if he'd have to go early. If they're like stomping super
All right,
hard.
let's
and
pass
using
it for
their
God's
grab.
sakes. We got casters.
Luckily,
I
gang,
like
we've got
Dota.
some experts to help us out here. We've got Annie and Purge to cast game number one.
All right, thank you very much, Zyori. We're going to see if it's going to be a clean EG stomp or if Complexity are actually going to get up there and get it done. So let's start things off. I'm Android being joined by Purge. Can you hear me, Purge?
I can hear you, yes. How you doing?
All right, there we go. Fixing some sound stuff in the studio. So,
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think it'll be a really good game. I like the draft that Cole's going for. It's weird, but it could have some potential to be really useful. They are obviously very heavy on silences in the early game, but that's a pretty good solution against EG's heroes. So I think if they can get some traction with it, they can definitely translate to a strong mid game.
30 seconds to
All right, Sumail dumping everything on the ground here. He's littering.
That's not okay.
That's really not okay, dude. That's against the law.
Why exactly does he do this?
He's just testing the waters, trying to see if anyone from Complexity is going to get cheeky.
See if there's any traders on his team that deny items, steal items.
It's a good check. I wouldn't do that in one of my pubs.
Yeah, me neither. Every little piece of item is actually super big, because I expect that his lane is going to be mostly in a 1v1, just TA versus SF. He's going to have to deal with that by himself, and sometimes it can be a bit iffy to that matchup call. Kind of depends on how many times his side blades spill correctly. Since it is a dual off lane, and then that's a dual lane on the top lane, which means that they're going to have a little bit of trouble zoning Centaur. So I think the dual off lane that EG has to go fairly successful, I think, because I'm thinking about like a mid-game silencer backed up by an IO and a Shadow Fiend. That sounds like really good damage output. So I think they got to get some good roaming done by crit.
Yeah, definitely going to be crucial to have everyone in the right places here. Let's talk a little bit about this mid. TA versus Shadow Fiend. Definitely a lot of damage coming out of these two. Who are you expecting to farm better and, get more blood?
So it kind of depends heavily on the first couple waves here. Shadow Fiend went for Raise level 1 just to guarantee he can get some last hits, because if he goes Necromaster, he gets a good player that he'll never get any last hits. And Sumail's so good,
top
obviously.
lane Monkey's in some serious trouble. He's got the bug on him. First blood does go to Zai. They're able
Okay,
to just
that's
go
cool.
and lock him out of lane.
Did you see what he did? Arteezy went Swarm level 1. He didn't even get Sakuchi, so there was way more damage output than he expected. And the other cool part is that it lowers armor, which means that the actual crush from Slardar does more damage in the first place. It was a cool little gank there.
Down bottom, Universe taking a lot of damage here. He's just gonna be TPing out. All right. See ya, buddy.
Yeah, good. Really good move there. As soon as the Thunderstrike comes out, he already knew that Swiddles had it. It's easy to
Z-Freak.
escape.
He's trying to go, just get a little farm for himself, a couple of levels, but crit, keeping him at bay. We talked about this IO just being food for EG. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's kind of true, but a lot of IOs have been doing this jungle thing lately, so crit just being here in experience range really screws what IO wants to do, because he can't actually fight. He doesn't have any HP regen items, because he's normally able to get around and avoid having that, so this small delay will make a huge impact. He doesn't have tether yet, so he can't escape. He can't really gank lanes super well. Like, if crit just delays this, it slows down Shadow Fiend's ability to gain mana, Shadow Fiend's ability to beat the TA, and his ability to impact all the 3 lanes.
All right, so
They're
things
pressuring monkeys again here.
Yeah, I mean,
this is bad.
This is really tough. It's so hard for a Centaur to come back from this. It's not one of those typical grab an Iron Talon, go to the jungle if it gets tough heroes, but well, he's going to be pushed to that eventually as Arteezy snaps up another kill.
I just don't see that kill is okay for Centaur there. Like, it's really tough when people do side pulls. You always want to get over there and grab the experience, but against really mobile carries like Weavers, it's so dangerous because instantly he gets behind you. And the other issue is monkeys grab return level 1 because he wasn't expecting to die so early, and now he's got level 2.
747 gonna witness 2 heroes just popping out of the woodwork, but not feeling too scared about that. Meanwhile, Z-Freak is the one in trouble as Zai chases him all the way down. He's able to go tether to that creep and get himself to safety, but Z-Freak, he's trying so hard. He's found his level 2, but now he's out of mana and pretty much out of health as well.
But I think the interesting thing here is that he's just pressuring all over the place. You're doing such a good job. I don't think I've seen a team move so much in the early game in a long time. Like, the crit instantly rotates to the jungle to deny some experience. They're getting kills on Centaur. Mid's going okay, but not amazing, perhaps. Oh, the pushback from Moo.
He's just getting kicked around here. Kinetic Field's going to hold back the 2 aggressors for now. Allows him to get back to safety. Eats up an Iron Branch tree. But this is still EG getting very aggressive very early on, and so far it's paying off for them.
This could be a little dangerous for Melons. No, he'll be okay. Yeah, the only downside to Boulder smashing backwards is you have no follow-up disable with the Darkseer. So it was a good move, though, because it lost Moo like 70% of his health. So definitely good pressure there. In the mid lane, TA's up to 20-6, whereas 747 is at 18-3. This is probably a player matchup where I would actually say that the player skill is actually semi-comparable. And the fact that it's an SF versus this as well, plus he's gotten roamed on a little bit, makes this pretty competitive here.
Once again, Centaur may be in some trouble. He's going to stomp. He's going to get the better of the engages. Zai can't crush before that, so at least Monkey's buying himself some time. He's getting some decent levels, but in terms of last hits, he's sitting at 7 and 2 deaths. Definitely tricky.
Yeah. 2 deaths is definitely too much, but he does have a lot of experience, which is pretty good. You know, he's matching Arteezy here, and that's mostly because Zai hasn't been pulling. He's mostly been like trying to get kills, and looks like he's done some side pulling as well, which usually denies more experience than gives him experience. So despite Monkey's getting behind here, even a fast level 6 could make a big difference, considering the early mid pressure that Cole has an advantage over EG.
Yeah, I think movement's going to be super important here. The earlier you can get that stampede online, the better, especially when you've got, you know, rolling boulders coming at you. You've got Darkseer Surges. It's all about speed here. Yeah,
and EG just doesn't have very good disables. It's pretty much just Slardar disable and Earth Spirit disable. Like, past that, the Stampede from Centaur can make a big difference. And obviously, if Centaur can turn that into a fast Blink Dagger, that'll change everything. Because then he can actually start initiating the fights and getting follow-ups from Silence. That's really what they want to do, because there's a little bit of dive bottom here.
Melons, he's going to go. Nice kinetic field. It's doing some work, but Crit's able to roll right on through. Universe gets low, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, this is the big danger against playing against an early Silencer carry. Like, he actually does really good damage. This hero has one of the most amazing agility gains. He gets 3 agility per level, so his natural armor is going to be really high, as is his attack speed. So if he just keeps translating towards pretty standard items, he's got 2 nukes between Last Word as well as Arcane Curse, and as he levels up Glaives of Wisdom, then he just has pure damage on top of that. Like, he's actually going to DPS good.
Gets low, able to cut the bug off himself. Thought there was going to be some backup for that one. But yeah, back to Silencer. I really like that point you made about the Agi. Most people think, oh, he's just, you know, super heavy int hero, but he is a fairly formidable right clicker. He gets some good Agi rolling for himself early on.
And people think he's so squishy too because he doesn't have disables and he silences people and he gets beaten late game, but carry silencer with a couple survivability items is very difficult to kill actually. So I think he's going to be kind of a nice solution against the Slar. I think Melons is quite dead though.
Yeah, difficult to kill. Melons is not. He's just going to roll over. Gets off of kinetic fields, but that's just given some information to Moo, who's left in lane all alone.
It is kind of important that it was Swindles that died there and not Moo though, because if you just roll over the silencer a bunch of times and he does have trouble getting that first mech up or force staff or whatever he's building, then he's in a bad spot. And this is actually something that a lot of other carries wouldn't have to do. He has to leave the lane right now because he knows there's a big chance of getting dived, especially against a Darkseer. So now he's kind of in this weird place where he can't even jungle very well because silencer doesn't jungle super well, and it's definitely going to provide a big issue.
Look at Zai. He's got that invis rune. He's crawling around getting so much information. Templar
He's also
Assassin.
level 5 right now.
Yeah, Templar Assassin's in some serious trouble. Zai's gonna go in, Crush lands onto 2, but the glimpse back. Smail may still be in trouble. They bring Crit in and they're able to kill off the Disruptor. Z-Freak gonna be going in, helping 747 finally take out that TA, but it's gonna cost him his life. And now Z-Freak, oh god, he's just left to the bullies. His spirits are doing so much work, but they can't finish the job. Both Zai and Crit get incredibly low, but in the end, it's still worthwhile for EG.
Really good fight by EG there. On the bright side, Suzy was able to kill the TA at least, but very close to killing the other two guys. That Invis rune paying off big time. And I really like, obviously, the Iron Shell the guy that's Invis, because you know that he's going to be somewhere where a fight's going to happen. And they got a bit lucky in the sense that they grabbed that rune right before Swindles got there to put the ward down, so there was no reveal that gank was coming. So Zai's rotations have been just godly. Like, the fact that he hit level 6 here and we're 7 minutes in, what the hell, man? That's incredible.
Yeah, I feel like this guy's never been in lane. He's been chasing the Wisp, he's been going in, ganking mid, he's been landing some dope crushes, but we'll see as the game progresses if Complexity are going to respond to that movement or if they're just going to kind of sit around and stay in their lanes and be easy targets. Right now, Moo, you can feel he's terrified, just huddling behind this tier 1 tower. Even with Z-Freak here, it's so scary.
Yeah, he really should. He's trying to pick up a fast helm with the Dominator. It's a great item on Silencer. Regen on top of decent armor that he has base is going to be great survivability.
Oh, Zai goes in and takes the rune out from under 747's nose here in the bottom jungle.
Yeah, that's always definitely annoying, but I think 747's still doing okay. His last hits are very comparable, only 4 behind the TA. And if we look at net worths, he's pretty much comparable, but everybody else on his team is definitely having trouble. So looks like the net worth advantage is certainly in EG's favor.
Yeah, right now they got their big boys online. I think you got to have TA get big and you got to have Weaver get big. If everyone else in your team flops, those are the important ones. And so far, they're off to fantastic starts.
Yeah, and even Slarter's still doing well. 800 gold past his Tranquil Boots. He's going to try to pressure Melons here.
And he's going to
get a little nuke.
Yeah, Melons will deal with it. He was expecting that glimpse, but still fun nonetheless. Moo's getting some alright farm here on the Silencer, but he's fallen really far behind that Weaver just in terms of net worth.
Yeah, and I think that's just because the rotations from EG have been so good that they're just pressuring everywhere. So, and because they have a Silencer, not a carry that's a little bit more survivable or higher damage output in a short burst, they don't feel comfortable not farming outside of the tower, basically. So you kind of have like 3 cores that can get farmed but are a little bit scared to do so, and as a result it just slowly trickles into EG having a big farm advantage. So if this just keeps happening, we're going to get to like a mid-game period where Cole's just going to get overrun. But the big thing is that they keep their towers up, because if they do lose this tier 1 tower, they're going to be put in a really bad position that makes it harder for them to win mid-game fights.
Moo, he's walking around. Z-Freak's by his side, but that is still a very dangerous place for a Silencer to be. He's getting kicked, he's getting punched. That Tether is doing a good job saving his life. He pops off the global silence and he will escape, but that's still a costly disengage.
Yeah, global just for that. Doesn't look very good. Z-Freak didn't have any bottle charges either there, which made it a little bit harder for them to commit to the fight. He only had a magic stick, so a little tough there. Oh, they're going to go for the dive maybe. Amp damage runs out though.
Arteezy, he's all in for this. He really wants to go. Crit's going to keep on rolling through, but the relocate out. It's perfectly timed. Arteezy just time lapses. Everyone's ready for this. TP in from the Centaur. This could be a pretty sizable fight there. Oh, the double edge from Monkey's just sticking it to him. Now the relocate's over. They're coming back in, and there was another TP. So it looks like all the Complexity trying to mount this little initiation there. They get the Weaver, and they know there's no time lapse, and that is a massive kill right there. Free farming Weaver goes in for a gank and immediately gets killed.
Yeah, that was a huge play there. The fact that Swindles happened to be 6 in that fight was crucial as well, because if Swindles didn't have level 6 for that moment where Weaver escapes, that was pretty much an EG advantage there, I would say. I mean, obviously they still lost the Earth Spirit under the tower, but the amount of pressure they're putting on is ridiculous, and they forced all of Cole to rotate. So huge grab there. to get that despite the hard laning stage.
Crits revealed in the trees as the spirits clip onto him. Just a couple of pings out there. I like this dominated Wild Wing Ripper, just keeping a good view of the area near the shrine. Now Monkey's going to get corrosive hazed, and rest of
Surging over.
We're going to go 747, just drops the Requiem, and they're going to get a nice kill off the back of that. See freaking Moo. I mean, they're ticking low, but that tether's going to keep them both healthy. Crit, he's stuck in the trees, doesn't want to walk, back the other way. Arteezy going to take out Z-Freak, but it's a kill you kind of expect when it comes to these full 5-on-5 fights. But Moo, that's someone that can't afford to lose. Silencer goes down, and now it's just going to be the remainers of Call.
They've got to kill Sumail, but this is scary. Susie's really low here. They've got to land a disable on him, but 6 seconds until the stun. They do have a glimpse as well. They can pull him back here.
Looks like they're going to go for it. They got enough mana for one raise. The stomp connects. The right clicks are there, and that's going to be Monkeys picking up the kill with his double edge.
Hugely outplayed there. I feel like EG is playing a little too overconfident here because
the Wild Wing Ripper lived.
He did live. Nice. He was actually useful. Armor aura against all of the minus armor of EG's really nice to have. But I really felt like EG possibly could have had a great initiation, but that ulti by Susie was amazing because it just killed Slardar at the start of the fight, and it took them way too long to actually blow up the silencer. And they still haven't used global because it's off cooldown now from that last time that they tried to get a kill. So this guarantees the tower death. And
really
another
nice
big
job.
thing is all the dire wards are in the mid lane, whereas all the fights are going on the bot lane. I feel like that was a moderate mistake from the supports there. If they had observer wards actually near the tower, they might have had a better chance of winning the fight.
Looks like Complexity, they found their window, and they're just going to keep going. All 5 of them starting to work on this tier 2, and I mean, that'll be nice for objectives, but then you look at this Darkseer getting complete free farm. Pretty much everyone on EG feeling completely uncontested. Sumail taking out a big cluster of Ancients as well. This TA is well on her way to being a problem. Already with the Blink Dagger on top of Treads, and almost a third of the way towards her Deso.
Yeah, I would have agreed with that maybe like 2 minutes ago, because after losing that fight, it kind of offsets a lot of that advantage they have. Like, if you look at Darkseer and Starter's net worth, they're the same, and they're way below the other 2 cores of the Radiant team. So, because that fight went kind of bad, and because they lost TA, Sumail stayed way too long. Maybe he was trying to play out the glimpse slowly or something, but the fight, they overcommitted. Now they lose 2 towers. Now they're just at a huge disadvantage. In fact, Cole actually already got the tier 1 tower top, so now they have a 3-tower advantage against EG at the moment. They're actually firmly in the lead despite that early start.
Yeah, they're doing pretty nicely here. I worry about the Silencer being able to keep pace with the cores of EG, though. How's he do that? Oh, meanwhile, Slardar just getting dropped. Nice deep rotation coming in from the Radiant Complexity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really putting on the moves.
And this is the part of the game where EG has to be really careful, and they kind of messed up the game heavily by getting into this situation, because as soon as, like, they won the lanes convincingly, but as soon as these first couple skirmishes go rough, it makes it very, very difficult for them to survive in these mid-game situations, because all it takes is an observer ward from Cole, a centaur in the area, and they've got a relocate kill every time, because the centaur stun is going to stun for so long that they're going to get the follow-up kill. And if it's really hard to get the kill, they'll pop global silence as well, so it doesn't matter where Moo is farming, he's just going to silence. And if it's the Slardar, if it's the Weaver, that hero's dead. Could be even TA going down. So really tough game now for EG to play out. They pick up a Buckler on Silencer as well to cover the armor issue a bit more. It looks like he's going to go into an Atos next. He just wanted the Buckler for a armor transition. Good choice there. And now all the fights are really tough for EG because Cole is not going to stop pushing, and they have far better team fight.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I think is potentially a really big problem is that Complexity don't have fantastic lockdown. They've got, pretty good going on with the Disruptor. His kinetic fields have been super on point, but, the Weaver, once he gets his Lincoln Sphere, is going to be pretty hard to keep down.
Yeah, he may pick up the Lincolns. We'll see. Either way, even if he has Lincolns, there's still global silence that can completely stop that. So it's this big period. Like, silences are so good until your opponents get the items that solve the issue, which is Manta Styles, BKBs. But until that point, silence is amazing. It's almost as good as the stun in a lot of ways. So if Cole just plays these team fights correctly and they keep doing death pushes like this, they could just get a Rax by 20 minutes, and it won't be time for EG to get an actual BKB.
Yeah, I mean, Complexity, they're going in. This tier 2 is theirs. There's nothing they can do about it. Wild Wing Ripper, MVP, man.
Yeah, it's so good to have him, too, because if anybody's near the tornado, their Blink Daggers will get interrupted. And if they can't actually do, like, a Slaughter Blink Crush, they're going to lose the fight. So Cole goes to the next tower, headed to the tier 2 top. Almost all the towers on the map are gone. EG has been trading a little bit. They got the tier 2 in the safe lane, and now they're trying to pressure bottom. RTZ is making some good progress here. He's queued up a BKB. He's only about 1,700 gold away. That will give him a lot of advantage that he needs. But it's going to be a bit until he finishes them. They're going to TP defend. Can they get Arteezy here?
Oh, they're looking for it. Arteezy, he's dusted, but they can't actually lock him down. Meanwhile, Crit just going to be trying to roll out of here, but will end up bopping right into the IO. Tries to TP out, but Melons cleans him up. I mean, I guess it's pretty important. He just kind of bodyguarded for Arteezy there, but there's still a push going on in the top lane. Looks like Moo, 747, and Z-Freak should end up getting this tower, so they get a free kill, they defend their structures, and they're getting something in return.
Might have to global here if they go in.
Yeah, it looks
Thinking about it.
That's going to be an issue here. Sumail unloads onto Z-Freak, just blasting him forward. They lose the Wisp. Nice back wall, but I don't think it's going to be enough to slow down Suzy, as he is just kind of booking it away. Goes in for a raise, chunks down Universe. 747 still getting low. There's Monkeys in the back line, takes out the Slardar. 747, can he get out of here alive? Sumail stuck in the kinetic field. They get him as well. This is amazing.
It's really well done.
Complexity are looking so polished right now.
Yeah, they really are. They played that fight so well. They ran back slowly. I felt they got to just get out. They got to TP or use global silence, but Moo held it. And the important thing was is that he stuck around and he tried to keep the Shadow Fiend alive, popping Buckler, stuff like that. And the moment they went in was when they knew the refraction happened and Curse of the Silent was off cooldown, because then they had lots of damage sources to break through the survivability that Sumail was trying to work with. And as soon as they do that, then they could actually turn the fight as long as the SF kept running. So really nice plays by them there. There's been a couple mistakes from Cole's side, but ever since the Lanian stage, they've 100% stabilized and played the fights correctly.
Yeah, that Buckler just won them the fight. That was ridiculous. But
just a little armor helps a lot.
It goes a long way. The fact that 747 didn't drop, and I mean, Monkeys on this Centaur has played phenomenally. We saw him get double killed in lane. It was rough. I'll hold that thought here as Weaver's in a serious pit of trouble there. Gonna get glimpsed back, killed off. Moo grabs another one, and now Zai, he's just slithering for his life. This Weaver has hit the deck twice now in the last couple of minutes. This is not great.
Yeah, some sloppy disruptor play, I must say, but it worked.
He got it done. It's this Venn diagram of kinetic field and static storm. Yes. They kind of touch a little bit.
The least conventional static storm combo I've ever seen, but there's so much threat, right? They can bring Centaur anywhere. They can bring Shadow Fiend. They can bring Silencer. They can bring Disruptor. Whatever hero it is that needs to get ganked, they have ways to make the gank happen. And until they get BKBs, EG is not going to survive these fights and ganks. So EG needs to get a good team fight soon, or get some split push advantage and finish their items, or they're going to lose the game or get it raxed early.
Well, they're trying.
Sumail's got Deso at least.
Monkey's got his blink. He's definitely thinking about going in. Sumail separates from the herd. This is potentially a fatal mistake. Monkeys jumps in, has the double edge, and it's Sumail just sitting back, letting Suzy whack away at him. That is a dead TA. That is a huge portion of damage dead on EG. Now they're going in for more. 747 still BKB'd, still feeling huge. Magnetized from Crit, but is it really doing enough? Z-Freak tries to get up onto the high ground, vacuumed back, but the tether doesn't break. Now Z-Freak's all on his own. Now he's going to get picked off. But this is still going really well for Complexity. They get the targets they want. Chasing after Crit now, occupying two of them. Centaur ult committed. Crit goes down. They hunt for the rest of EG here. Looks like Melon's potentially still interested. Has the Static Storm up in 10 more seconds.
No glimpse either, so I think that'll be... Well, no, they've got the ward up there still.
Monkeys, he's got that
EG
blink stomp that he loves so much, and he's going in, but will not get it.
Nice play by EG there. They knew that they had vision.
Oh!
Great Static Storm.
Baiting two of them into the Static Storm. Arteezy's just sitting there looking after his teammates, trying to figure out what to do in this game.
That was good. Good move by a Disruptor there. Unfortunately, his team was too far away to follow up, and they did the smart thing. Just said, all right, good job, Swindles, but this is not safe. We'll just back out. We've got an advantage. You do not mess around at this point. Crucial moment in that last fight, actually, was the TA initiation. He missed his Melt Strike. That's huge. He should have two-shot Disruptor, but he messed it up, and as a result, died for nothing.
Yeah, I think, Templar Assassin just trying to go after these small picks, sees these easy kills, but there's so much punish right now on Complexity. They'll just jump right at you. And again, Monkeys in the Centaur, huge playmaker, getting a super early blink and just going in. He's afraid of nothing right now.
They might get Roshan time, though. It's going to be really close. I think EG's going to get this.
See, Monkeys, he's definitely feeling it out. They got it. Sumail now with an Aegis. Monkeys heads into the pit. They're trying their luck anyway. Global's committed. Now Monkeys heads back in, looking for the cleanup crew. And they should be able to find it. They pop an Aegis. There's a vacuum. They get everyone into the pit, but that's just going to be a bigger problem for the TA when Sumail comes back. Sumail, I mean, he's doing everything he can, but that refraction can only do so much.
Really nice move by Monkeys there. I love the blink stun even after the Aegis is grabbed, because you never know. There's going to be a couple of heroes in there. It was a good move from EG, and they had to do something like that because they know they can't win fights very well, so they've got to try to get some advantage in another way. And it still led to a lost team fight for them, but the net worths still look okay if you take a look at the scaling of them. They're pretty comparable, but until they finish those BKBs, there's no way they win fights.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit concerned for this Weaver. You want to see, at this point in the game, 20 minutes in, Weaver really starting to make those plays, starting to dish out huge damage, but it's still feeling like he can't do a whole lot in these team fights.
Yeah. It's been tough. He's died twice. He's got positive KDA. He's farming well, but
high ground
just
attempt
doesn't quite
coming
have
in. Nice back wall, but Monkeys, he returns the favor, just goes and double edges. He's beyond godlike. Oh my. Complexity, they're doing it. They got 2 heroes down in EG already. They're just going to chew off the bugs and keep going at it.
They're doing really good. Great executions. Global silence in 50, so there's a bit of a window here that EG maybe could pressure. They've got vacuum up in 6. They could redo the wall. No, they
nope, they can't. Not without a Darkseer. He's going to be going down. Does have buyback. Is it worth it to try to defend this tier 3? It's getting low anyway. 747 with that Dragon Lance from the low ground. Making easy work of it. Fortify popped out from EG, but that's not going to last forever. Now Shrines are vulnerable and Monkeys is still going in. They want to keep this TA dead. They make the call, just back out without any losses, and that's what Complexity are going to do. They smoke on their way out. It was under a ward, and Zai's going to go break some of the smokes at least. But
and they got a buyback out of this as well, out of the Darkseer, so pretty good accomplishment there from Cole, and once again, they don't actually lose any heroes on the retreat, so EG losing advantage more and more and more. The fights get harder.
This is looking a little scary for EG now. You look at the overall net worth Complexity. They're going to tip over 7,500. Now they can take out EG's Shrines and make it really difficult for them to get to the bottom jungle, really difficult for them to get to the Roche Pit.
Yeah, that's huge, especially if they can keep Observer Wards up in the area surrounding EG's immediate base. Then it's going to be hard for EG to cross the map and actually look for kills, as long as Cole doesn't get caught on the map. And it's kind of like having a Spirit Breaker on your team, having the IO. Because of the IO, that means that even if they feel comfortable pushing lanes out, they always have to worry about that TP relocation. Sumail looking for a kill with an Invis Rune, though. This could be big. He did spot some heroes, but Cole's doing the smart thing, grouping up his 5, and going to take the Shrines now.
Yeah, I mean, Sumail could probably find a kill, but then would be immediately killed in return, so definitely playing a safer game here. Templar Assassin already with 5 deaths.
Do you see this armlet on Z-Freak?
I see the armlet.
Is this new?
Does he have arms to wear it, though? Like, how does he turn it on and off?
That's a good question. Where does this go? Does it? I think you just put it inside where the IO and it just like orbits
like
the
a
center.
Jellyfish?
No, I was thinking more like planetary structures,
okay.
but it's kind of a cool item. Gives you decent regen, 7 HP per second. Obviously, it drains himself HP, but it makes his right click really strong since he is a strength hero.
Yes, the
Kind
IO
of,
right
and it gives
click.
him armor. Honestly, this is kind of cool. Like, his armor is incredible right now, and he's against a Slardar. I think this is pretty justified.
I mean, we've seen what just a little bit of armor on the buckler can do. That was a phenomenal pickup. Congrats, Moo. Still sitting on that value buckler.
Yeah.
They're going
And
in.
oh,
They get the Atos onto the Slardar. He went in trying to scout out, trying to be sneaky, but ends up just feeding the silencer. Some more int. 22 stolen int for Moo right now, and these racks, they're feeling the burn.
If you just don't see that coming, it's hugely set up.
Are they really going? This is happening right now? All right, they got him. Monkey's still beyond godlike, has yet to be killed since the 2 immediate deaths in the laning phase. He was the first 2 deaths of the game and has not died since then. 11, 2, and 8. He's going to get slowed down by the Psionic Trap, but he's just so gosh darn tanky now with that hood and now a full Ags as well. Very difficult to get on top of him.
I like the way they're putting kinetic fields down whenever Monkeys is about to initiate, just in case. It gives them a little bit of protection there, just in case they want to chase after him. Like, Cole has consistently been like this, and all the iterations of their teams, they're just almost always on the same page. And I really feel like this 5-man stack here is hitting really good stride. They've made a big improvement since their roster swap.
Absolutely. I mean, net worth right now is 10,000. We are talking about, you know, literally Kiev major direct invite team, and they're getting whooped by Complexity at the moment.
Yeah, and I believe they have to play open qualifiers, right? Cole does, because they had the roster swap. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have too much trouble there.
I mean, if this is how they're playing consistently, holy crap, this is like a whole new Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, some of this definitely was a little draft related. EG probably felt overconfident, especially after their laning stage, so they do some aggressive stuff, lose that bot fight near the tier 1 tower, and then things get out of hand because Cole hasn't been like giving the opportunity back to their opponents. But by all means, Cole really playing well. Just playing around.
He's asking for trouble, man. There's
He's
blinks.
trying to get vision.
There's mobility now on the side of Complexity. They could just centaur ult and make fish food out of him, but they'll show mercy for now.
Yeah, they maybe could have. If they stampeded there, they might have gotten the glimpse off, but You know, Slaughter's not super farmed just yet. I mean, they're at the point where if they get any kill, they take a Rex, basically, which is what they did in the last fight. Very happy to use the Disruptor combo against an Earth Spirit. It's basically like Earth Spirit, Darkseer, basically everybody, pretty much anybody on EG if they kill. They're all important enough to the team fight that they give them a big advantage.
They got the Slardar here. He was playing around and flew too close to the sun. He's out. Now Sumail comes back in. The Melt Strike is barely doing anything to 747. He's just going to go unload the Requiem. Sumail not going to get stuck in the kinetic field. Pops the BKB. Susie going to be backing off for now as shrines are activated on the dire side of the map. Everyone's got that refresh and EG.
Yeah, they're going to go in. Good choice.
Yeah, they're looking for this. They've got to take a fight. Nice vacuum, but the Global Silence comes out, so they can't finish their combos. Looks like Monkeys is going back in, and they're able to isolate down Zai. That Slardar just can't stay alive. Arteezy, though, making quick work of Moo, will find the Silencer. What's it going to cost them, though? Nice kinetic field, holding crit in place. The Magnetize comes off, and it looks like Melons may end up going down. There's just not much he could do about that. Z-Freak, he's trying his hardest. He's armlet toggling so well. He's doing everything he could possibly do, but still goes down. Now Universe, with a scrape of health left, trying to run from Monkeys, will end up going down, and Monkeys is able to TP home. One of the only survivors of this bloody fight.
Really good pressure there by EG. That was definitely the time to chase. They showed some hesitation because the Slardar was already dead, but that buyback was absolutely necessary. And that's because they went on the TA. The TA was able to barely survive because she popped her BKB. And then that means no Requiem, no BKB for SF. And then it just became a game of can Cold escape before EG gets the initiation. And they chased perfectly, got the important kills. Arteezy especially did a great job in that fight. I love his item build too. He bought the BKB and then instantly picked up a Crystallis because he needed as much damage as possible immediately. And this item is very good for increasing your physical damage because of your double hit from Geminate. So maybe a little unconventional here, but definitely a good pickup. And it looks like he's going to go into the Bloodthorn next.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think he goes for the Daedalus here? Is that just a little too crazy? I think the silence from the Bloodthorn is going to be massively helpful.
Yeah, it could be really useful, especially against heroes like Io, Silencer, even like Centaur or Disruptor. The silence would be really good. Obviously, the Daedalus crit is far better, and it's a much cheaper item. But in that vein as well, if you look at how Cole's been playing this game, they're playing this like group up as 5 and push thing. And for heroes like Silencer, I feel like you usually don't buy a BKB on him in these kind of strats. You just want to get him really tanky instead. Because if you buy BKB, then that could have been like an armor item or like a Shiva's or something. So I feel like just going for a Bloodthorn, I think it'll be alright. It's obviously terrible against SF who has BKB, but against a lot of the other heroes, it's pretty good. Oh, plus they have TA and lots of other minus armor, so I think it's a good choice. It'll amplify his team's damage as well as his own.
Yeah, we talked about Moo getting armor, but he doesn't need to buy an item for it. He can just dominate the armor creep crit. He's going to make his way up to the high ground, but that's not going to save you there. Still the victim of Monkey's axe, and they bring in Silencer's glaives from the low ground, picking up the kill. Easy peasy.
He has stolen 26 intelligence, by the way.
He's done a good job.
A lot, and picking up things like Rod of Atos are so good on this hero. He's got 140 intelligence right now. His mana pool is massive, and he's doing 80% of his int in pure.
Oh.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of damage, and we're talking about a Silencer that spent most of his laning phase hugging his tier 1. I mean, this was not an aggressive Silencer. This wasn't immediately a snowball rolling down the hill. This is, you know, Complexity sticking it out through a tough laning phase, and now Centaur, Silencer, two of the heroes that struggled the most in the early game, are on top of the charts.
Heroes are very tanky at the moment. Monkey's having a little trouble here. Hasn't picked up any armor items.
He's going for heart.
Yeah, he is. That's a good choice, I think. Actually, I'm not the biggest fan. I kind of wish this was an armor item. Heart is good because it allows them to reflect damage with return damage, but raw HP is one of the worst things you can build against minus armor, and their enemy team is literally all minus armor. I really feel like something like a Lotus Orb would have been better, or at least a Plate Mail before he started building towards the heart. So I think this is maybe one of the first item mistakes we're seeing here, but who knows? Maybe he'll be able to get it fast enough and transition to armor afterwards.
Yeah, the regen is going to be pretty nice for that, so Complexity can continually reset their fights. Now, Io, I think he may just have to be a sacrificial lamb here. Z-Freak living for a surprisingly long time as Slardar is going to be focused down. This Wisp is just a patch of bugs as the rest of Complexity's going in for the fight. Monkeys, he goes in, he gets the hoof stomp. There is going to be a very nice back wall, but is it enough to keep EG alive here? Arteezy still chipping away at everyone from the corner. Crit, he's just walking himself out. I think that's going to be a very dead crit. And TA finished off by the double edge as well. It's just Arteezy left alive, but he's still fighting. Arteezy wants more. He wants Susie. They're going to be trying to focus him down.
Dodge Atos.
The wall illusion. Oh my, okay.
Oh, they're going to get RTZ though.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Everyone's dead.
It's nicely done by Universe there. The SF illusions are really good. They give them -6 armor aura as well, even if it's a illusion from an enemy. So it works out. Got pretty close to the end, but nice fight for Cole.
I like that Shadow Fiend could only die to himself. The wall illusion was the only thing that could kill him.
Hey man, RTZ was there too.
Yeah, he
helping
helped.
a little. Oh, he picks up a diffusal blade afterwards. Interesting choice. I like this. They could use a little. They need a little bit more lockdown. It actually does a lot of damage right now, mana burn wise. It does 50 per hit. With Geminate, you're draining 150 mana in like 2 attacks, basically. That's a stupid amount of mana. And does a lot of physical damage on top of that, too. So I like the item choices, but the fight just didn't quite go well. That's kind of a bad place for EG to fight, really, because it gets really clumped up. It's kind of good for Universe, I guess, for the Darkseer, but past that, I don't think EG was too happy to find their opponents right there.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a place that either team was intending to take a full fight. It was just kind of Slardar going in, trying to be sneaky. Wispa got caught out, and then everyone just kind of joined the rumble.
Yeah, they kind of had to take the fight, though, because they're pretty far behind. They've got to take engagements like that. A lot of medallions picked up on Cole as well. I think they have 2 right now. 1 on Disruptor, 1 on Io. And I don't think that's too bad, actually. I kind of like...
Dude, armor's winning
I think it's alright. Yeah, like, as long as they don't use it, it's just a decent armor item, 7 armor. It's not amazing, but it's good. And once you make that into a Solar Crest, then it becomes ridiculous. 12 armor, plus you can lower... hit chance on heroes like Weaver or something like that. That's hugely beneficial because they're not going to get a Monkey King bar anytime soon, and it's just cheap armor.
God, I love the little Frost Ogre's animation when he casts it. Oh, here we go. EG moving forward. Universe going to be vacuuming down this Disruptor, and they're going for it. They get the Meld Strike. Disruptor is now dead. There's no Static Storm available for the fight, but one more Force Staff forward and a Glaive secures Moo the kill on Slardar. Monkeys with his heart. He's still charging forward. He wants this. Sumail going to be going in. Boulder Kick holds back Monkeys, and now the Requiem hits nothing. 747 just dumped that ult and the BKB and won't find much, but they may be able to kill Arteezy. There's no time lapse, and that bug is dead. Arteezy caught on the wrong side of the river. That is
He made a huge mistake at the end, too. He pops the Coochie, and then he instantly popped BKB, which breaks the Coochie, which means that he's just walking.
Oh, nice back wall. Darkseer's ready to go, and they might actually find what they need to off this kill. The Death Requiem, however, doing a lot of work, will cost Darkseer his life, but that's still worth it if that's the only casualty. But if it's a team wipe, that is Complexity coming out 100% on top.
Did you see that damage? That was like 2 hits took out 50%, 40% of TA's life at the end there.
Dude,
Monkeys
is
going insane here. He's more farm than TA is. Like, I had some big doubts of him in that laning stage, but he is wrecking this game. And this heart's paying off big time. 45 extra strength is another, like, 30 physical damage every time somebody attacks him. And at the end of the fight, he's just always there, reflecting damage and staying alive.
I mean, that heart is so good for just being able to jump into crazy situations, and he has had fun with it. Look at him, just... This tower does not hurt him whatsoever. Oh,
even with the minus
does,
armor, amp damage.
Nice. He's still going at it. There we go. Tower taken out. There is going to be a relocate on top of him, just doing a little bit of work there. Going to be taking Monkeys out. Look at that attack speed coming forward. Zai with a nice little crush, but they can't really do much about this there. Roshan, meanwhile, going down. As up top, we do have a fight. The Slardar's dead, and the relocate takes him out safely.
Catapult.
The Rax doesn't fall. Okay, it does. The catapult gets it.
That guy was, he plays the always hit buildings strategy.
I like it.
Good old catapults. That was really nice movement there by Cole. Monkeys is just playing his hero perfectly. I like this. He got 10% spell amp as well over the 15 strength. Interesting choice, but does it? I feel like it amps return damage. I feel like it would. Probably counts as a spell return. And if it does, that's a cool idea.
I don't know.
Gives you a lot more damage than the strength does, even though the strength is good. But no, obviously amps double edge as well. Amps your Hoof Stomp. I mean, he's clearly outputting a lot of damage. That's really obvious. And even Stampede damage is amped as well. That's incredible. Strength multiplier damage times 3. So that's like 160 times 3, and that's getting buffed by another 10% spell amp. That's so much damage.
Look at Monkey's quick buy. Is he going for another heart?
It's kind of what it looks like. There's no way that he doesn't just buy a plate mail first. Like, there's no way. Yeah, if you bought another heart, I would definitely flame the shit out of him. If you buy a plate mail and then you're like, okay, maybe I get more strength.
I want to see this cast go from Purge Flaming Monkeys in the very early game when he dies in lane to like Purge just cranking on Monkeys, talking about everything he does in such a good way to like he gets a second heart and he's trash to you.
He's wrecking, but you can still make item mistakes when you're wrecking and win, is all.
Yeah.
But he's, by all means, he's playing great. Shiva's he's gonna go the Aether Line or Lotus Orb now. I think this is a good choice. That or Shiva's, either would have been good, or AC maybe. Lots of good options. AC is what SF's gonna build. So they smoke into the enemy base here. They're gonna try to take a kill and then take the barracks.
And they're just going straight in for the structures. Monkeys. He's still sitting back, still smoked up. It's gonna expire, but look at Susie just chopping away. He's got his full Eye of Scotty now, and there we go. Monkeys just going forward, holding Arteezy back. The Rax is done. There is gonna be that vacuum wall onto just Monkeys. This is going to be a huge bounty if they can kill the Centaur, and they do. That is a 10 streak ended.
They wasted global.
That's 1,000 gold going to the TA. She's going to BKB, ain't going to get glimpsed back this time, and now Moo's running for his life. These are two enormous kills that Call really can't afford to give up. Aegis popped from the Silencer, and I don't think there's a clean way out of this one.
Yeah, I don't think so. And there's also relocate from the IO, so he's going to get cleaned up as well, most likely. Arteezy can chase this. He's got Diffusal Blade here. And he used it. Removed the... There was a haste, I believe, on IO bottled, so he thought he could get away, but gets caught up. That was a huge mistake by Cole. Huge advantage. They get the double racks at least, or the second racks, but...
Templar Assassin, she got both of those really high-value kills, and that was about 1,600 or 1,700 gold just straight to her in that fight from kills alone.
That's massive. She finishes Hurricane Pike. Now she can save herself or others. Orchid's finished. Going to be making Bloodthorn next. This is the space that EG needed. It's still going to be really difficult for them to win from this position, but they certainly can do it with little fights like that. And the big thing about that fight, Centaur just didn't have armor. Honestly, if he has a plate mail in that engagement, he has 60% more survivability.
Well, you know what? He bought a Perseverance.
Incredible. That's the wrong item, honestly. Put your TP scroll in your stash, buy a goddamn plate mail. They have a minus armor draft. You're the only person on the team to not be buying armor items. Everybody else has like tons of armor items, and he hasn't bought any. I mean, maybe they didn't Solar Crest him when they should have or something like that, but get Solar Crested and have a plate mail, and then he just doesn't die in those circumstances. They don't waste Global Silence. They don't get 3 heroes killed on the way back. Like, the amount of game control that EG got from that little pressure there, and by him standing out of position, was huge. They could actually lose the game now because of that. Whereas before, if they just backed off after getting that Rax, it's like 95% chance they win. Now it's like, I don't know, 60, 70 maybe.
Yeah, definitely some really big kills go into someone that you don't want holding on to them in EG. They see the glimmer of hope for the first time. This is looking like, you know, they can leave their side of the map. They can leave their fountain. They can actually make the moves. And of course, Templar Assassin, as farmed as she is going to have no trouble dealing with the 2 waves of super creeps. A couple Psy Blades just cut right through them.
Yep. Weaver not the best at it in their defense. It's basically just like Darkseer maybe and TA, like you said, but Cole just has to do what they did before. Push all the lanes out, get a little bit of map control. I think they still have their gem. No. Oh, yeah, they do. Disruptor has one. Dire does not have one. So they should still have good map control. Get map control, push the lanes out, take a Roche maybe, or do a smoke fight. Something like that would be a good place to be.
You can feel the complexity are definitely a bit more uncomfortable than they were. Staying very close together as 5, really trying to decide what the best course of action is to regain their lead. And it looks like they're going to try to go in for Zai again, who's solo. I mean, yeah, he's got a TP, but he's a crazy man. Going to try to force step himself out of the Atos. There's a glimpse back. Monkeys is playing Ring Around the Rosie, and that's going to be a dead Slardar.
Moose damage is still super good. He's going to be able to finish Shivas with this.
Oh yeah, 44 int.
Yeah, that's a lot. Moo's able to pick up the Lotus Orb, so he does have 10 armor now in his defense. And thinking like he's going to build Shivas afterwards. I like that. Just stack the armor. He's got tons of HP. Anything else item-wise new? Just AC is finished on Shadow Fiend, of course.
Monkeys has a Lotus.
Manta.
And he's getting very close to his 25. Do you think it goes for the return aura? He's got it, right?
Probably, yeah. Because he's got so much strength, I think it's worth it. It would apply to his Shadow Fiend as well, which would be kind of nice. Then they could only have like 1 person hitting buildings, and it could be Shadow Fiend, and he would just be covered by Return Aura and Wisp and stuff like that. 1 second stun duration is pretty good, though, I must say, talent tree-wise, but I think you skip it now because of all the BKBs, so yeah, I agree. Definitely the Return Aura is the thing to go here.
Templar Assassin, the first one in the game to actually tick over that level 25, and she's going to go for the Refraction instances.
Yeah. Very
unsurprising choice.
Yeah, you always get that one on TA. It just makes a big difference. And there's some damage over time on the Cole side, but there's not that much. She also finishes the Bloodthorn, so she's in a pretty good spot. Does not have buyback, though. And I think EG kind of has to play in that way. Very few of them do have buyback, by the way. It's basically just like crit. And yeah, that's it. Just the Earth Spirit. If anybody gets picked off, the game basically ends. So All comes down to this fight. Can EG get a good initiation? Can they pick off the supports at the start of the fight? That's what they got to do.
Gonna see as Monkeys is ready to get this going. He's gonna feel the wrath of that Bloodthorn, Hurricane Pike. I'm just clipping him, but he's so tanky it doesn't bother him much. If that was a disruptor, Melons is just super dead.
Yeah, most likely. So they'll just play safe for now. Shiva's Guard on Silencer is a huge pickup, though. It's going to reduce attack speed heavily for TA. And he's got some ways to increase his attack speed, but not a lot. Just treads and Bloodthorn.
Monkey's just a little bit asleep at the wheel there, letting the tower hit him, but not really wary of initiations like that. But again, he's fine with that.
He really doesn't care. Doesn't matter. 7 seconds and he heals back up to full. 300 HP per second from the heart here.
That is good.
And he's removing the silence and the amp damage with Lotus Orb rapidly anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Like, their ability to kill him now is so difficult when he has Lotus.
Yeah, it's difficult to get him down, but not impossible. I mean, if you lose Monkeys right at the start of this fight, Complexity just has to bail. 747 can dish out a ton of damage, but no one else can just eat all the spells like Monkeys is doing here. Look at that! He does not give a hoot that Sumail is just unloading on him.
Just doing the same kind of thing, because every time that he comes forward and does this, as long as the tower's attacking him, he's getting tower damage in.
That's got to be so frustrating, and they're focusing all their attention bottom. Meanwhile, the super creeps, they're doing an alright job pushing in mid and top. So just trying to wear thin EG's patience.
Do you see what they're doing with the medallions as well? Medallion and Solar Crest both stack because they're different. So as long as Monkeys walks to the front here, and both can be cast on him for armor bonus. Just going to keep doing it. Tower's getting low.
Oh, that's so triggering now. He may get punished here.
We've got to force him here.
Is this it? Is this the death of Monkeys? That's a vac wall if I ever saw one. There we go. You got that nice static storm rolling under the global. It's doing a fair amount of work holding EG back. No one on Complexity has died just yet, but Z-Freak's in an unfortunate position, trapped in the trees. Monkeys, no one else is around him for that hoof stomp. He can't find what he needs. There's a relocate out. Complexity trying to minimize losses here, but they find the TA. That's huge. She does have buyback now. They lose the silencer, and Monkeys wants to go in for more. Arteezy does get the kill on 747 meanwhile, and now it's just going to be Monkeys trapped between literally a rock and a hard place, as he's now just trying to bide his time. Alright, so EG. It looked unfortunate for them, but Complexity, they get right back in there. Run away. They die.
It's a nice fight by them. Basically,
we're still looking Universe.
Probably dead.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a slow, painful death, and there is a gem now able to be claimed by Universe.
That's pretty costly for Cole there. I mean, the fight basically started, the Centaur didn't get forced early at all. He was down to like 40% HP before he got forced. And it might have been Cole trying to play around that, like, oh, we'll just get him low. That way, when it gets really bad, we'll force him out. We'll try to bait out their spells. That's basically what happened, but then EG just decided to chase because they knew Global Silence was down. That's the big problem that they can't deal with because it prevents the Darkseer from casting spells. If he hasn't used Greaves, unless he has Greaves, of course, or Slardar or Earth Spirit. But when the Global Silence is down, they can actually engage, and that's what they did. They got a lot of kills out of it, too.
I mean,
so it just seemed like issues of, they just didn't keep the Centaur alive. Maybe the medallions weren't up, the Solar Crest wasn't up, stuff like that.
Third Roche going to be attempted by the Dire side. Now, Radiant do still have their Shrine available, so if they get wind of this, they can send someone in pretty quickly. I wanted to say, in that fight that looked so terrible for Complexity, I mean, it was... But the very dim light at the end of the tunnel was that the super creeps were able to do about half damage to this tier 4. So at least clearing out some structures in the base. But Roche will go down. Arteezy with an Aegis.
Dead effigy, man. That's the important
dead
thing
effigy?
You see that little hole in the ground?
Oh my god,
Complexity,
cool they're monsters.
Yeah. Well, it was the creeps, you know.
I mean, they would
Cole's not into breaking effigies, but you know, you can't always control your minions.
Zai gets so close. Oh, they find him. Look at that sentry placement. Oh, they get the glimpse back. They actually have the follow-up damage they need. The glimpse is not quite on point into the kinetic field, but they get the Atos and they get the kill, and now it's really Arteezy and Universe going in, trying to find something here. A nice back wall, but there is going to be that silence coming out, and you see this bug stuck in the kinetic field under the static storm. Gets down to about half health, and look at this Earth Spirit. Not going to be going down just yet. Oh, the time lapse from Arteezy. He's still up. He's able to go Scoochie out of this. And now Sumail, with that BKB rolling, is looking for more. The damage just doesn't seem to be enough. The silencer's so gosh darn tanky. Arteezy escapes within a fraction of his life. They lose the Earth Spirit. Sumail is going to gobble up the cheese. He wants to live. The Meld Strike finishes off the silencer from 100 miles away. And now another vacuum back down to the low ground. Monkeys is low, but he's so gosh darn tanky. There we go. 747 just going in. Finds the kills that they need. Everyone has buyback. On the side of EG, there's a gem on the deck, and now it's just Weaver running for his life. But that was definitely worthwhile for Complexity.
What a crazy fight that got so bad for Cole in a couple moments there. I mean, Moo really didn't think he was going to die, but that crit at the end or something, maybe it was like the Bloodthorn breaking or something. He just went down. Arteezy realizing enemy heroes.
Yeah, with only Arteezy left alive, the creeps are starting to go to work on the Dire base. Now Arteezy's going to reveal himself here. Do they have punish for this? They lost their gem in that fight.
He's just trying to slow them down by a little bit of time. Extra Sakuchi movement speed is really making a big difference here, but killing Monkey without like a lot of team members is very unlikely.
He's just so tanky.
Almost nothing they can do. Oh, big nuke here. He could stampede for this, maybe get a kill.
He's trying. Zai he keeps dying, and this time he's dead for 70 seconds. Has the buyback, but it's going to be super costly.
That spell amp is actually incredible. I'm very surprised Centaurs don't go with that more often.
Let's see if Mega Creeps are going to be coming out here. There was the Bloodthorn spent, but 747 immediately able to get that off.
So the last tower defending their last Drax is now gone. Now they're in a bad position again. Buyback force there.
Another smoke, and this time there's a relocate up from the IO as well.
And they've got an Alpha Wolf. Huge damage increase here. Look, they're just killing the Rax.
Oh, this is going to be huge, though. EG have to hold here, or it's not looking great. Monkey's getting whittled down to about half health, but all he needs to do is walk away and recharge. The Rax getting low. Is it going to be Megas? 747's content on that. It's a Complexity go in. They get all 3 Rax down. And they should be able to back out without a scratch. Or not.
At least one.
Nope,
yeah.
that's a scratch. That's a big scratch.
2 maybe. 2 deaths is completely fine for Cole right now. 3 though. They got Centaur.
Oh, that's going to be a huge kill. He's worth so much money. It's going to fully occupy them for like a minute trying to kill him. They do it.
10 seconds. Couldn't even finish the sentence.
You know, Caster's Curse. I thought it was going to take longer,
Really
but now Weaver and Sumail really starting to do that damage.
Yeah, the minus armor they have is incredible right now. Minus 20 from Corrosive, plus the Deso, plus Arteezy's bugs. A lot of impact here. And 3 deaths was kind of costly. If that was just 1, maybe 2, it's okay, but now that could force 3 buybacks. Still terrible for EG by all means, but they're going to try to go for the back door, it looks like.
I mean, it's not really back door. They already got creeps in the base. 747 just making his way up. He's just going in. Tier 4. It doesn't really stand that much of a chance. Zai's going to come back forward, lands a double man crush, but they still got the Alpha Wolf around. The damage is incredible, and Zai, he gets low, but Arteezy now here to focus down Z-Freak. 747 tries to go for the Requiem, will end up just letting it rip in base, or at least thinking about it, but nice relocate out.
Yeah, really good stampede as well by Centaur to reduce the damage they took for that little brief second.
Oh, rest in peace, Z-Freak.
He tried his best.
I mean, the fact that they were able to get Shadow Fiend out of there and also do damage to the towers is huge. They lose Melons, but Monkeys, he wants revenge here. They want to go for Sumail. Do they have vision? Oh, they know exactly where he is. 747 threatens the Requiem, and that's enough to get Sumail to hop away. We'll TP back to base and just go for the full reset here.
Dude, kills like that are absolutely game-changing. Like that's the difference between a star player right now. The fact that he killed Disruptor while his team is Mega Creep, like Disruptor did not expect that in the slightest. But that ward doing big work. Getting the Disruptor kill means they can't even 5-man push for 60 more seconds, so it just buys EG some time, which is definitely what they need right now. 60 seconds more until their glyph comes off cooldown, for example. That's one of the reasons that they pressured mid there.
Yeah, as unlikely and rare as Mega Creep comebacks are, it's looking pretty good for EG, all things considered. They've definitely still got a shot in this. It's not just, you know, waiting to pull the Band-Aid off. One more good fight in Complexity, they're going to start losing their racks.
Yeah, because no buybacks on 2 heroes now. That was Centaur and Disruptor buying back. So the 3 important heroes, arguably, well, I guess it's SF basically and Silencer are going to have buyback, but I'd say Centaur is definitely one of the important ones. So EG just needs to get a good fight, win the fight, push out all the lanes, or potentially hold the lanes while you push one lane and get some Rax advantage. On the bright side, the tier 3 on the bottom is gone, so hypothetically they could throne their opponents.
Take a look at Sumail's inventory. We're ready to win some games.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's definitely time. It's definitely time.
If there was a Rapier game, you're Mega Creeped against Complexity, it's looking good, you need one more fight to go your way, you're a Templar Assassin, this is the item with your name on it.
This is one time I kind of wish he had Daedalus over Bloodthorn, because the crit value is a lot higher in Daedalus, but, you know, Bloodthorn has been more useful. You can't really just sell it at this point. But he can definitely kill some supports right now, that's for sure.
The problem is, I mean, you saw Sumail get out by the skin of his teeth in that last initiation because Complexity didn't have vision, but if they had a sentry in that area, Sumail would have been easy pickings. If he goes down here, that's it.
Disruptor does buy a gem, still sitting on the courier, but can bring it out for now if needed. I think it's better if they just don't feed the gems. Just sit in their base, let the lanes push out. Like, that's the advantage that they have from Mega Creeps. They don't have to try to high ground here.
It's about to get real. They're going in. They initiate onto the Centaur Warrunner.
What a
Interesting
vacuum.
play. All my frames just dropped, and they're going in. EG are stuck up. Everyone's sitting in that awesome Static Storm. Melons with the plays on Disruptor. They get the kill on the TA. There's a Rapier on the deck. EG, they're scrambling to stay in this. Meanwhile, the Creeps tearing apart the base. They're on the Ancient. Buybacks aplenty from EG. It's now or never as the throne is exposed. Still sitting at about 4/5 health, but we now got a Rapier on the side of Complexity. Who's holding?
That vacuum was so good, but that kinetic field was even better. It guaranteed that they could pick off the TA, and that pretty much is going to be most likely the end of the game. But they've got to kill the rest of EG. There's 4 up here.
I mean, do they, or can they just hit the structures? Silencer is hitting for a
that.
big pop. Now, here we go. Silence onto Monkeys, but he's not feeling too scared about that. Darkseer now running for his life. Universe thinking about going in for some more plays, but
It's getting low.
It's, yeah, the Ancient. It's going down. Moo, he's got his eyes on the prize, and that's going to be Complexity taking game number 1 in this best of 5 series, upsetting a lot of bets already, but we're moving forward with Complexity with a 1-game advantage.
Yeah, a little surprising here, but I think their draft was really cool. EG played amazing in the laning stage. They played amazing in the late game, but that one like 4-minute period where they dropped a team fight in the Radiant Tier 1 tower, it changed everything. It put Cole in this huge lead. Their team was so good at just 5-man pushing. That's what it does, and EG gave them that advantage. So they cannot make that mistake again in the second game, or they have to make sure that Cole doesn't have such a good 5-man strat, because I really like their draft. They played really well, but they did show some signs of weakness late game, so they got to clean that up if they want to keep winning.
Whew, definitely an exciting game number 1. We potentially could have 4 more games of action, but let's I think we need to understand a little bit more what happened there. Let's kick it back to our lovely panel.
Well.